All right, Cameron, we are back here for our second men's semifinal match between J.W. Johnson and James Ignatowich, who has had quite the day. Cameron, you mind telling us a little bit about his trip here to the semifinal match?
Yes, happy to do so. So James beat Federico Staksrud 11-5, 13-11, and then went on to play Jay and beat him 11-7, 11-6 to get here to play JW for the semifinal. So he has had a great day, a successful day.
Absolutely. I mean, Jay is the second seed, and Federico just actually won the Atlanta Open, our first major of the year. So those are no walkovers.
No, not at all. But the scores, I mean, there was no three setters. He really fought hard and got through and deserves to be here.
I know he has a background. He played tennis at Vanderbilt, and so I think he's probably taken some time to switch over to the game of pickleball, but he's definitely he's playing very well today. I think JW's aware of that as well. JW's had no walkover himself, beating Alex Newman, and I can't remember who his other opponent was, but JW is one of the top singles players in the game, and this is going to be a great match today. May the best player win.
Yeah, absolutely. The second set against Gabriel Joseph that JW had before this match, that second set went 15-13 for JW to be here. So good one on his part.
This is a great draw that we had here on our men's side and our women's side. I mean, the talent in this game is just continuing to grow, and our brackets are getting bigger, and it's almost like you don't get a good draw regardless at this point. There's somebody that you have to face in the quarters or the second round or
your
whenever.
First round,
Or first round, yeah, or first round.
Oh, today was fun.
Pickleball's always fun,
Isn't
right?
it? Mm-hmm. Especially singles day.
Oh, yeah. You never know what you're going to get in singles. I mean, we had a cowboy hat out here earlier. Right?
Yes, I called that first one. That was a great match.
We had a cowboy hat out here earlier, and so
maybe that's what I need.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Great pace there by J-Dub, making James work for that.
What a great inside-out forehand by JW. Keeps that ball nice and low and just really flicks that wrist right at the end to get that spin.
He does flick the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild to see some of the speed ups that he's able to generate just below the net, even just with that wrist. So, JW being a younger player in the sport as well, I know he's got a tennis background and a few other, but his pickleball family with his mother and his sister and everybody involved, they have great practicing partners, and it's allowed him to establish some shots and really create a name for himself within the tour.
Absolutely. I went and lived with the Johnsons for the whole month of March earlier this year, and wow, if you're not a better player after 2 days of being on the court with them, it's no joke.
Workout Wednesday with Callie, a month with the Johnsons. Cameron, you're going to be quite the hybrid.
Oh yeah, you guys better watch out. I'm coming.
Foot fault there. So frustrating when you get just off balance, and he had the right shot, right idea, but frustrated with the foot fault, taking a smart timeout here. And so we'll take a quick break, hear from a few of our sponsors, and be right back to this amazing match. We are back here at our second men's semifinals. Great battle and matchup here between J.W. Johnson and James Ignatowich. We are in for quite the matchup here. So good timeout there by James, getting the ball back here. Hopefully he can maintain some momentum coming out of that timeout and shorten this deficit down 1-4.
Wow. drops in on that back line. J-Dub's a big fan of that two-handed backhand as well, so he can really move his opponent around. Works really well for him.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was landing in from up here. Everything seems to go his way sometimes, so I was kind of surprised not to see that go in.
Me too.
JW trying to adjust to that ball, that just a little net cord, but sometimes you just can't adjust when you put that pace on it. It's amazing to me actually when I'm watching doubles or even singles how many times the ball hits the net and people can actually adjust to the, you know, the trajectory of it all. It's wild. So the talent and the hand-eye coordination that these players have is, you know, you don't believe it until you see it in person.
Absolutely, and a drill that to practice that is, instead of standing at the kitchen line doing fast hands, is actually taking a step inside the kitchen where both of you are actually inside of it doing quick hands. So then when you step back, you have a little bit more time, a little bit more anticipation. So that's a drill that I like to really work on, is getting my hands even more ready than they probably need to be by standing inside the kitchen and doing quick hands.
Jada just keeping him honest.
I knew that
was
wasn't
going behind him.
James has done that a couple times now, has really flicked that down to his lower forehand, and J-Dub anticipated a move there and took it out of the air. It's a great adjustment by him.
JW does such a good job up at the kitchen line when you try to, you know, get into the kitchen. He can just put enough pace with that little flick to keep you back, keep you back, keep you back. It's really hard to get up to the net with JW.
And he likes to take a lot of them out of the air because it really does lessen the time for your opponent to adjust or can get there. So if he can take anything out of the air, he's looking to do that. I'd like to see James slow it down just a little bit right here. See if he can't get a rhythm. Start stringing together some points. Wow. I thought Dub had a good return. Nope.
No, he put that right to bed.
I like that he took it early, though. He didn't give JW enough time to get set. That's going to be key here.
Great. I want to see James get a little bit more aggressive. I think he's trying to figure out JW and everything, but I want to see him come out swinging. I think those are the kind of shots that you need to hit in order to continue to win. And I mean, he's done it today twice, right? Seeking his third upset of the day, but I like to see him play a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, whether he's taking balls early, which can create some from JW there, it can also make him think a little bit more when he's taking a ball early, or holding the ball just a second longer on your paddle to make him think of where are you going to hit it versus just kind of opening up your hips and showing him the direction of the ball.
I think it's important to disguise your shots, right? Like,
absolutely.
You know, especially with these players like JW, who's been playing for a while. You know, he's the #3 seed here. He's got a lot of experience, and he's really good at anticipating these shots. And so if you can do anything, even just like you said, holding the ball a little longer, doing a little bit more, just got to keep him honest. Can't let him get in too much of a groove.
Wow. Great get from both players.
I think this was a silent 10 by JW. I felt like, you know, he's had a lot of points and everything else going for him, but I felt like he really crept up to 10 a lot quicker than I feel. I was surprised to see that for some reason.
He usually does. Silent killer.
Silent killer.
All right, let's see what J-Dub picks here to close out this set.
10-4.
Wow, great angle by James. I don't think any of us were expecting that shot.
No, but he makes you earn every point. JW getting to some of those shots that he was trying to put away, and you got to hit shots like that in order to get a point on JW. Great hands there. Great hands displayed by JW.
I mean, you see everyone in the crowd just shaking their head like, how did he get that back? And he was prepared. It wasn't luck.
No, he's done it a few times.
Yeah.
He's acted like he's been here before, and he has.
Tough miss there. Well, James is off 4 now, 5-10. See if he can't get a few more here. That's a great job taking it early, not letting it bounce. That's what he's going to have to do.
I agree. I think it kind of throws off the timing. It doesn't allow JW to get positioned into the spot that he wants, and so taking it out of the air will keep him guessing a little bit more so. Harder to anticipate.
Wow, that's been his pattern there, which is interesting to see. I like that he didn't go away from that. I hope that he continues to do that. Push it deep, come in and take that second one right out of there. Wow, James is playing great right now.
He is. He's working his way back. Down 6-10, but taking a timeout here, catching his breath. We'll watch a few commercials here from our sponsors and be right back here shortly. And we're back here in our second men's semifinal. Winner goes on to play Tyson McGuffin. James Ignatowich working from a 6-10 deficit, but he's a fighter. He's looks like he has a question about the ball, thinking it either has a crack or it's out of round. We'll have the ref go ahead and verify that.
I'd like to see James continue to stick with his pattern that he had before he went for that timeout. He was taking that, pushing J-Dub back, and as that next ball after J-Dub strikes it, he's taking that out of the air and moving him. He needs to continue doing that. That's how he's been able to get back in this. Wow.
So these patterns that we see in pickleball, Cameron, you've been talking a lot about that throughout the day. You know, we've seen some work and some not work. You know, how do you adjust with these patterns? Do you go into it with that strategy, or James sticking to the same pattern that we were just discussing, or is this something they have to figure out along the way? I mean, what's the strategy behind all these patterns?
Yeah, I think it really depends on who you're playing. I think with some of the more familiar players, like we had Annalie and Callie out here, I think they had a pattern going in just from all the previous times they've played each other. I don't know how many times JW and James have played each other, so I'm liking seeing it took James a little while to get into that rhythm, get in that pattern, and see that, hey, I need to take that ball out of the air to move him so I can start getting some points, and it's working. So what's great about all these pro players is they're good enough to adjust mid-match, mid-point, adjust the pattern. That's really going to benefit them. I mean, don't stick with something that's not working, and I think sometimes you can fight with yourself a little bit too much, and it may overlap on one more point that makes you lose the set versus adjusting right away. So yeah, I think that it really just depends on who you're playing and how you're feeling that day. I mean, your backhand just might be totally off, and your forehand's what's working. Play off of that. So I don't think it's the end-all be-all. It has to be this pattern. It has to go this way. That's why you see the best players win. It's because they're able to adjust.
Well, I think it's frustrating when you're a player and you are like, hey, I know the pattern, and there's nothing you can do about it, right?
That's true.
It can kind of be a mental thing there, but...
And then you just got to give to their player. You know, congratulations, you painted lines, and you read me like a book, and better luck next time.
Better luck next time. But JW closes this game one out 11-9 versus James Ignatowich. Great momentum going on between these two. Game two is going to be one you're not going to want to miss. We'll be right back here shortly with this can't miss pickleball action. And we are back here in California, the Golden State, not the Sunshine State, Cameron. Correcting myself from an earlier little deal, but
I didn't have the heart to tell you.
But either way, this is great pickleball. Love being here in San Clemente. Love watching these players compete at this high level.
Great venue.
And it's an amazing venue. Lifetime does a great job. This is actually our third Lifetime in a row, so they've kind of set the standard for pickleball. It's been pretty fun for that, but needless to say, this is an incredible match that we have ahead of us. Really close one in game one. I expect the same here in game two.
Yeah, I want to see if James is going to stick with this, start taking some more balls out of the air, and not get in such a hole like he did that first set. And come out and compete right away. He's going to have to do that.
JW does such a good job with those returns. He hits them so low and flat, and he puts a lot of pace on that ball. I know a lot of us just try to focus on that deep serve, deep return, but both these players are actually putting a lot of pace on their return, more so than I've seen throughout the day, actually.
Yeah, it's a very heavy ball. That's just, you think it's going to go out, and they put enough spin on it to where it's dropping just before that baseline. So it's really deceiving when you're up at the kitchen line thinking, I should probably let this one go. It's going to fly out. And with all that spin they're putting on, they're dropping. Unlike that one.
Yeah, but great discipline, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know a lot of us would want to get our paddle on that, but just good instincts there from James.
Wow. Great kit by James there.
I was impressed the first time, thinking it was like a one-off, but he's done it a few times. It's pretty amazing it's almost like he's meaning to do it. It's crazy.
It's in his repertoire. He's really taking those balls early, not letting JW have time to adjust and anticipate.
1-1.
Great insight out. I think James has kind of figured out that pattern that you've been talking about. I think he's learned a lot from game one here. Hasn't played JW very much, and so I think he's found a few things that are starting to work for him.
I don't know if you guys saw that. James just adjusted to serve a lot wider than staying next to the line there. Put a little extra on that serve, and it worked.
JW trying to keep him deep, but just a little much. It's a game of inches, just as all of them are, right? It really is just inches.
4-1.
Great start, though, from James. He really had a purpose of what he wanted to do when he came out here, and he's been executing that very well.
Has a little cushion, a little 1-4 lead here.
I was surprised JW didn't hit a drop and come on in and play some cat and mouse with him. I know JW is very comfortable with that game, and he's very good at that game. So kind of sitting back and banging, I'm surprised he's not hitting a dropper and coming on in.
Great disguise there from JW. He could have gone anywhere with that ball. Obviously went to the right position there as James almost gave up on it because it was such a good shot, but you know, one thing I've noticed, Cameron, is, you know, James is playing a lot. You know, he's keeping JW back. He's playing back to him, playing his back, and then he finally will move him over. You know, when do you know when to really start moving him, right? So I'm playing back, I'm keeping him in the spot, and then they give me a shot with just enough to move him over. I mean, how do you know when?
I think it's very subtle. It can be the slightest of things. You see them leaning a little bit more towards one way than the other. You see them maybe on their back foot a little bit. Any one of those slight little signs, I look at their hips a lot of the times. I think that came from tennis. So right then and there, I can decide, okay, now I'm going to hit a slice down the line versus my cross-court backhands I've been hitting. In hopes that, hey, maybe I'll get a pop-up from their forehand. So just those little subtle differences that you can tell whichever player, whatever that is for them, is what could change up that next shot to move their opponent around.
James is really doing well with his backhand right now. I feel like he's moving JW well with his forehand, but he's got some pretty sharp angles with that backhand.
Yeah, and he's rolling that two-handed, and that's going to be JW's backhand. So when he's hitting it lower there, it's always harder to reach lower on your backhand and not create a pop-up than your forehand. You can really kind of come over the ball a little bit. So I like that decision. I hope he sticks with that because he's been able to get a lot of success from that shot.
JW picked up on the pattern, crossed over, covered a little bit more ground, put that ball away. They hang it, you bang it.
Yep. Got
Good
lucky on
point
that
there.
one. Yeah. J-Dub doesn't miss those very often, so take them when you can get them.
Little timeout here by James. Catch a breather here and get ready for this next point. We'll go ahead and take a quick break, hear from a few of our sponsors, and be back here shortly. We are back here in California at Lifetime with this amazing pickleball match. I have Cameron Blackwood here with me, who is very insightful in her pickleball game. We are very fortunate to have her in the booth with us all day today, and we are very fortunate that we have this amazing pickleball going on with us. So we got James working his way here in game 2, up 5-2. Trying to push it on to game 3.
Ooh, that's the ball usually J-Dub's going to take out of the air and punch that down the line. He let it bounce and he couldn't recover. As we stated before, James has had some really good wins today. So he's looking to carry that momentum into this match with J-Dub.
That backhand roll has been working for him today. He continues to place it just right there in the
Big time.
Yeah, in a non-volley zone. It's just right there in that spot where it's like, do I get it in the air? Do I not get it in the air? It's just kind of a tweener shot.
Yeah, because it's not a soft roll and it's not a drive. It's that real in-between ball that does make you second guess as an opponent. do I have time to take it out of there? How much spin is on it? You don't really know. So it's a great backhand. He can disguise it very well, and it's working.
Great get.
I did not think he was going to ATP that.
With his backhand roll, it's been pretty amazing. That, you got to understand where he's going to go with it, because he can rip it back court or he can go around the post. And James, he's got a lot of shots in the toolbox.
Just like that. J-Dub loves to take that out of the air right down the line. James does not want to let this lead slip away quickly here with J-Dub. Wow. Great point there. Both players. James was trying to stick with that roll and that deep to his backhand, getting that pop up, and then J-Dub just anticipated that. That has been his bread and butter this whole time, rolling heavy deep cross court with the backhand and then getting that flick cross court with the forehand. Well done.
James knew right when he hit that ball that J-Dub was going to make him pay for that one. He said no right when he hit it.
Yeah. Anything high to anything for JW. Don't look for you to be getting that back.
It was the right shot there by J-Dub. I like him trying to go around the post there, but just a little long there, but right angle.
Yeah, he almost lofted that. I'd like him to slap it cross court.
James looking for another ball switch. This is the second one of the day. Working with lead referee Dee Jackson and Alan Roswell as our referees here. Always grateful for the referees and everything that they do here for the sport. We know that so many of them travel the country and can't do what we do without our referees and helping ensure that the game stays within its integrity and within the rules, right?
Sometimes you have your opponent, if someone's wanting to change the ball or get a new ball, the opponent will say no. So sometimes it can get a little interesting if they're like, nope, we've been playing with this ball the whole set, I don't want to change.
And why is that?
I think it just depends. I mean, I'm sure it might be a little wobbly to James, or maybe it just he wants a reset because JW is coming back in this set. But I like to stay with, I'm a little OCD, so with, I don't want to change too much. Unless, obviously, the ball's cracked or something like that. But I think sticking with it and making it work, you've been making it work this whole time.
Oh, great point there. James had what he wanted to. JW lofted it, but his put away is just long there.
I'd look for one more to James for maybe to take a timeout after this, depending on how this point goes.
See if James can get a little bit more momentum here. He's been stuck on 6 for quite a bit, but
great hands from JW there as it clips the net. He's able to adjust and get that back. That's a great change up there from James. He's been going cross-court heavy roll with that forehand, and he decides to flick it down the line. Great choice there. Gets the point.
JW really starting to get some momentum here. He's up 7-6. Looking to see him get a few more points here and kind of give himself a little bit more cushion to work with.
Way to keep James back as he just rolls from corner to corner. It's hard to recover when you're back there just doing everything you can to stay in the point.
Well, and I like J-Dub getting it just out of reach of his backhand. If James gets his two-hand backhand, he's a lot more controlled and powerful, as you mentioned earlier in this broadcast. But if you get it just out of reach, you can't get both your hands on it, and it's almost more of a desperation. I'm just trying to reset this and get myself back into the point. So after starting down early this game, JW's established quite a lead here, 9-6 in game 2, looking to get up to match point here.
Yeah, when you are up against JW, you do not want to give him any chance to get back in this. And now he'll come back with a game point.
So after a quick timeout here, James is taking a little breather here, but we'll go ahead and take a quick break, brought to you by all of our sponsors.
Welcome back here to center court, where JW Johnson has match point. Well, what a point to finish on. A good win there for JW coming back in that second set to take this match. We're here at the Select Medical Orange County Cup. I'm Cameron Blackwood. We're going to go to a short break. We'll be back with more matches. Don't go anywhere.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for James Ignatowich.
Welcome back, everyone. I've got JW Johnson here with me. He's headed to Championship Sunday. Congratulations to you, JW. Ignatowich started getting hot in that second game. Did you get worried at any point?
For certain. He always gets really good shots. He's going to win next time for sure, probably 0-0. No, he played really good, but I just held in a little bit and tried to make less mistakes.
Well, I see so much of your stuff on social media, you practicing, you having incredible workouts. You have a funny sense of humor, too, which we all love. How often do you practice?
I try to practice every day, at least 4 or 5 times a week. I have funny videos about hopefully 2 times a week.
And what about physical fitness?
again, probably 4 or 5 times a week. Usually have to Josh talk to the fitness trainer, make it harder, because usually it's pretty easy, but get it done.
Well, you have a very quiet on-court demeanor, as many people have noticed. You don't get much emotion out of you. Is that a conscious choice?
Yes, very much so.
Why?
That's just the way I've always been. Who knows? Maybe it'll change soon. We'll see.
Well, do you think that inspires any kind of fear in your opponents when everything they're doing, nothing makes an impression on you?
I know some people say so. I'm not sure. I don't know what they think. I don't ask, so I don't know.
He doesn't ask. He just wins, guys. Congratulations, JW. We'll see you on Sunday. Connor, over to you.